Hello everybody. In this lecture, we will talk about the first law analysis of reacting systems. The lecture will be divided into two parts. In part 1, we will talk about some theoretical concepts regarding about first law analysis of reacting systems. We will also talk about steady flow systems and closed systems. However, in part 2, we will try to solve some related problems regarding about chemical reactions and first law analysis of reacting systems. So let's start. First of all, we will talk about the first law analysis of reacting systems. As we know, the energy balance equations we developed in previous chapters are applicable to both reacting and non-reacting systems. However, chemically reacting systems involve changes in their chemical energy, and thus it is more convenient to rewrite the energy balance relations so that the changes in chemical energies are clearly expressed. We do this first for steady flow systems, and then we will talk about the closed systems. Now, before writing the energy balance relation, we need to express the enthalpy of a component in a form suitable for use for reacting systems. That is, we need to express the enthalpy such that it is relative to the standard reference state. You can say that it is relative to the standard reference state, and the chemical energy term appears clearly in this equation. Actually, when we talk about the enthalpy, we can see that the enthalpy of a chemical component is equal to that it is the summation of enthalpy of formation and the sensible enthalpy at the relative to the standard reference temperature. We will analyze this equation where in which HF represents the enthalpy of formation at the standard reference temperature. It is 25 degrees C, or we can say that 25 degrees C at 1 atm pressure. In kelvins, it is about 298 Kelvin. Now the second term represents the, as we can also see here, the second term represents the sensible enthalpy relative to standard reference conditions. Here H represents the sensible enthalpy, and the second term H naught represents the enthalpy at a standard reference temperature. HF actually the enthalpy of formation, and H represents the enthalpy at the standard reference temperature. So we can say that the enthalpy of a chemical component at a specified state is the sum of the enthalpy of a component at 25 degrees C or standard reference conditions and the sensible enthalpy of the component relative to 25 degrees C or 1 atm pressure. When the changes in kinetic and potential energies are negligible, as in many cases we can also assume the changes in kinetic and potential energies are negligible, the steady flow energy balance relation can also be written as, for the case of steady flow systems, energy in is equal to energy out. Okay, when we see the full equation of energy balance, we can also write that here in this equation, Qn represents the rate of net energy transfer by heat, Wn represents the rate of net energy transfer by work, and the third term actually the rate of net energy transfer by mass. Left term represents the energy in, and in the same way right terms represents the energy out. Here is the Q out represent the rate of net energy transfer out by heat. Here is the by work, and the third term represents the rate of net energy transfer out by mass. In this equation, Np and Nr represents the molar flow rates of the products and the reactants. Nr and Np represents the molar flow rates of the products and the reactants. Okay, when we talk about the combustion analysis, actually it is more convenient to work with quantities expressed per mole of fuel such a relative relation is obtained by dividing each term of the equation above by the molar flow rate. It is more convenient to deal with the equations in the form of mole numbers. So it is in this equation we divide the whole term with the molar flow rate. When we divide the each term with the molar flow rate of net energy transfer converted, here is the actually rate energy transfer per unit time. Here you can see that dot represents the rate of heat transfer. When we divide this equation with the molar flow rate, now Q in is the energy, only the energy transfer in per mole of fuel by heat. In the same way, when we talk about the W in, energy transfer in per mole of fuel by work, and the third term represents the per mole of mass. The difference is here when we talk about the NR, small nr represents the molar flow rates. In this equation, as we also discussed that in combustion analysis, we divide the whole term with the molar flow rates. So this term changes with number of moles of reactants, and here in the number of moles of products. Taking heat transfer to the system and work done by the system to be positive quantities, the energy balance relation just discussed can be expressed more compactly as Q minus W is equal to number of moles of products. Here is the enthalpy of formation plus the sensible enthalpy at a specified reference state. As we also discussed that the second term, it's actually the difference between the sensible enthalpy and the enthalpy at a specified reference state. We can also write the Q minus W is equal to the enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactants. Here the enthalpy of products represents the whole term of enthalpy, as we also discussed about this. Okay. If the enthalpy of combustion for a particular reaction is available, the steady flow energy equation per mole of fuel can also be expressed as H minus. Here you can see that the other term introduced is the enthalpy of combustion. As we also discussed that for a particular case when the enthalpy of combustion is available, the steady flow energy equation can also be written as. The energy balance relations are sometimes written without the work terms since most steady flow combustion processes do not involve any work interactions. A combustion chamber. When we talk about the combustion chamber, normally involves heat output but no heat input. Then the energy balance equation for a typically steady flow combustions can be written as Q out is equal to energy in by mass per mole of fuel minus energy out by mass per mole of fuel. It's actually the case when the in most of the combustion chambers do not involve any work interactions. Also, the combustion chamber normally involves heat output but no heat input. We can also say that this equation represents the heat output during a combustion process is simply the difference between the energy of the reactants entering and the energy of the products leaving the combustion chamber. Okay. Now we will discuss about the closed system. When we talk about the closed system, you know that there is no mass interaction. Only the energy can flow in or out of the system. So in this case, you can also say that the internal energy of the system will be raised. Okay. So the equation can be written as energy in minus energy out is equal to change in energy of the system. When we talk about this equation, we can say that the Q in or Q out plus W in minus W out is equal to change in internal energy. U products represent the internal energy of the products. In the same way, U reactant represents the internal energy of the reactants. Okay, taking heat transfer to the system and work done by the system to be positive quantities. The general closed system energy balance relation can be expressed for a stationary chemically reacting closed system as. So now we are talking about the heat transfer to the system and work done by the system to be a positive quantity. In this equation you can see only we are considering about the work done to the system, and heat transfer to the system and work done by the system. So we will just concerning about the Q in or W out. We can also write this equation in this form, Q minus W. Here you can say that the enthalpy is internal energy terms represented in this way. So we can see here, as we know that internal energy of the system is equal to the enthalpy minus the product of pressure and volume. When we talk about the specific properties, we can also write this equation in this way, the specific volume. Why we are dealing this equation in the form of enthalpy? The reason is that to avoid using any other property, the internal energy of formation, we utilize the definition of enthalpy and express the above equation in this way, where we have taken heat transfer to the system and work done by the system to be a positive quantities. The PV terms are negligible for solid and liquids and can be replaced by RUT. When we are discussing about the RU is actually the general gas constant and T is the temperature, standard temperature for gases that behave as an ideal gas. Okay, there are several important considerations in the analysis of reacting systems. For example, we need to know whether the fuel is a solid, a liquid, or a gas, since the enthalpy of formation of a fuel depends on the phase of the fuel. We also need to know the state of the fuel when it enters the combustion chamber in order to determine its enthalpy. For entropy calculations, it is especially important to know if the fuel and air enters the combustion chamber pre-mixed or separately. When the combustion products are cooled to low temperature, we also need to consider the possibility of condensation of some of the water vapors in the products. So these are all the important considerations in the analysis of reacting systems. Okay, as you know that we are talking about the closed systems, open systems. So in this topic, we are also briefly discuss about the closed and open system. I am drawing a container. It's actually the open container. You can see that when the outer end, or we can also say that the top end of the container is open or in contact with the atmosphere, the gases, we also say that the oxygen can flow in or out of the system. In other words, the mass can flow in or out of the system. It's actually the open system. Energy can flow in or out of the system, and in the same way mass can also flow in or out of the system. But when we talk about the closed system, we have to draw a container, and in this case it's actually a closed container, not a isolated, it's a closed container. When we talk about the closed container, we can say that the energy mass when we are talking about the mass cannot flow in or out of the system, but energy can flow in or out of the system. In open system, both mass and energy can flow in or out of the system, but in closed system only the heat or energy can flow in or out of the system. Okay, for the case of isolated system, when we are talking about the isolated system, we have to draw a container, but in this case the container is also a sealed container and an isolated. When we talk about the isolated container, we can say that in this case neither the mass can transfer in or out of the system, or energy can transfer in or out of the system. So this is the some basic concepts regarding about the open, closed and isolated systems. In the next part of this lecture, we will try to solve some related problems regarding about the first law analysis of reacting systems and chemical reactions. Thank you.